Hello guys, welcome to the stream. Just let us know if you can hear me and if you can hear Kron as well.
Hey guys, Corin here, and yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are. Please let us know. We are going to go live very shortly with AS versus RO in what's going to be a really another thrilling match here in the round of 16. Please let us know if you can hear us clearly or not, and yeah, we'll look forward to starting the cast very shortly.
Alright guys, we are back and let's quickly address everybody in the comment section. We've got Ian Graham, who is AS Sermon, Immaculate Mashroor Tofa, who is AZ Mash, Rainy Platypus, I don't know who this person is. Kron, do you have any idea?
No, I'm not familiar with what was it? Rainy Platypus?
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, and we've got Duzzles, Jimmy Elman again. And he says he's Quantum Floyd. So yeah, welcome to the stream.
Oh, awesome! Welcome, Quantum, and yeah, good to have you here.
We've got AS Princess and the L Clan. I don't know which person is this, and we got HNZ88 as well. And we got Mash asking about the 100 subscriber giveaway. I had announced a few days back that since my channel has reached 100 subscribers, I'll be giving away something. And he's asking if it will be randomly selected. So I'll be telling about the participation very soon. It's mostly going to be about a selection process where you can register yourself if you want to participate in this giveaway. You'll have to do something, and out of everybody who does that task, I'll choose one of them randomly.
Yeah, wow. And so what do you need to do to be eligible for this this draw?
So I have come up with multiple ideas. Actually, if you have a great idea how I can select somebody for a draw. I don't want to do it completely randomly, and I also would like to do something so that I can increase the reach of my channel. So if you have any great way how this giveaway should be kept so that it's simple and it does not it also serves the purpose of expanding the reach of this channel, just mention in the comment section, and maybe I'll pick your way and I'll decide to put the giveaway in that manner. I have not finalized it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how you want to do it, but maybe an idea could be, and to enter the competition, maybe you just need to, retweet a link to one of the videos on your Twitter, or share it on Facebook, or some kind of way of just sharing this tournament. Could be one way to do it, because obviously that's the biggest thing you can do to help right now, is try and get the word out and get more people watching, so that we can try and get more people playing Rise of Nations, which is a game that we all love to play.
Yes, definitely. That could be one of the ways how I am going to decide. And looks like so L Clan is Alan Killer's dad, or I think he's Itachi probably. And Mashur Tofa is asking if you can join us on Discord. So we are right now not on Discord, but yeah, if anybody from the RO team or AS Alpha team is watching this, and we may be interviewing one player from one of the teams after this broadcast. So if you want to be interviewed, please stay with us till the end of the broadcast, and you can join us at the end. So in the last cast, we had AZ Ruzaki join with us, and he shared some critical insight with us about the game, and that was quite interesting to have in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are interested, please just send us a message. Probably on Steam is the easiest way during the game, if you've got either of us added on Steam, or on Facebook if you have us added on Facebook. And yeah, we'll organise that in the background. But in the meantime, obviously, yeah, we're very excited to get into this match. And let's just quickly talk about the teams here. So we've got AS Alpha versus RO. And just to recap quickly, so AS Alpha, one of the longest and oldest clans in Rise of Nations. They went through a period of decline, I guess, around 2011 to 2014, 2015. But then since then it's been revived, and Sermon and Spyrodon have both done a great job with getting the clan back to being active again, recruiting from across the world. And to me, they seem like they're one of the friendliest clans there are, because they really seem to nurture and coach their players, and they really have that family kind of vibe and family atmosphere. And I think that's why a lot of players have almost, you could argue, defected, I guess, from other clans and joined AS, because that's where they feel comfortable and they feel supported and nurtured. And it'll be interesting to see how they go with that, that really tight-knit community spirit today.
Yes, AS has been a very loyal clan to Rise of Nations since a long time. I've always found their players in the lobby, and some of the great nomaders are in AS clan. And on the other side, we've got RO, and now what separates RO from AS clan is, I believe RO was recently formed for this tournament. Am I right?
RO, exactly right. It was formed just for this tournament, so almost the complete opposite of the spectrum here. I mean, AS has been around for years and years. RO is literally, something that's a team of, you could almost argue, friends or mercenaries that has been formed just for the sole purpose of bringing home the title to the country of Romania. I mean, you've got Zeus, Zeus has been around for donkey's years. Very, very long-standing player, very high-quality player. You've got Gabriel, also known as Shut Up, also a Romanian, and basically, because it's a 3v3 tournament, they needed to fill out their roster, and unfortunately, they couldn't get Serge, Serge has already joined Forvali in that super team of Forvali there. So in the absence of Serge, they did need to reach out, and they have been joined by both Cypher and Toilet Snake, both two great individual players who often play a lot of Nomad games and are well respected. And so a really strong lineup, despite the fact that they might not have that same chemistry that AS might have.
Yeah, so it's going to come down to teamwork versus teamwork that has been nurtured through years of play, and teamwork that's just nurtured from random games that you just end up with each other in the lobby.
Yeah, exactly right. And so yeah, it's going to really come down to individual skill versus teamwork. Long-standing clan bonding versus guys that are just thrown into a game together and see how they go individually. it's going to be an interesting dynamic here. And, obviously, you've got, Romanians, so mostly Eastern European, and Toilet Snake, I believe, is Malaysian, versus, AS Alpha has a wide variety. You've got, I think the top four is, Sermon, Haha, Noob Hater, and Spiridon. And look at the countries there. You've got, one Brit, you've got one Chinese player, you've got one American, and you've got one Greek. So I'm sure there's a joke there about, what happens when a Brit, a Chinese, an American, and a Greek walk into a bar. I haven't figured out what the punchline's going to be yet.
Well,
but,
they form the AS
great
clan. That's probably the punchline.
I mean, I'm sure there's a good punchline there. We'll have to come back to you on that one. But, great diversity of players there. And I guess, in fairness, I guess Spiridon, while he is a proud Greek, of Greek heritage, I believe he's living in the UK at the moment. So he's living in London. So, Sermon and Spiridon both in the same country at the moment. I know Haha is probably I think he's, of all the Chinese players, I believe he used to play for PLA a long time ago. But, over the years, I think he really appreciated, the work ethic and the ethos and the spirit of AS. And I believe that's why he ended up joining AS, because, he felt like, it's a great clan to kind of be appreciated in. And, look, I'm really happy to see Haha there. Haha is a great player. And it could be their secret weapon in this team.
That's right. And just responding to some of the comments, we've got Noob Hater in the chat, and L Clan is asking who's running the streams, and I would like to respond. It's me and AZ Kron. So we are both running the streams on our YouTube and Twitch channels, respectively.
Yeah, exactly. And so either option is fine. But obviously, if you're on the YouTube channel, you can type in the chat and it will show on the stream. So feel free to use whatever platform you prefer. But if you're on YouTube, go youtube.com, Google RiseOfPatience. And if you prefer Twitch, go twitch.com/EasyCronHD.
All right, and I'll just quickly set up the chat for the display. All right, and well, I have made some changes so that now I can have the Skype window open and we can show our faces while we are doing the post-game interviews.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I think that's another improvement as we go each cast. We're trying to get improvements, and it was great having the interview yesterday with Isaac here, but just due to technical reasons, we couldn't actually show his webcam to the audience. So we're trying to fix things one by one, and I think people look forward to that if we can get it working.
So a good idea by HNZ88, we can probably have the Twitch chat on the screen as well, and maybe for the next stream we should make it a priority. We'll do that. Yeah,
absolutely. We'll have to definitely keep it going, because at the moment, it's great having the interactive feedback. That's the best part, is when you're casting a match and then you can see exactly what the audience is typing. It gives you guys an ability to reach out and put your thoughts out there in case we might have missed something, or if you thought something on the stream was pretty cool. So obviously let us know in the chat, and keep it up.
Yes, and I'm facing some problems with the internet connections. You might be getting a little buffering issues, so please bear with that. It doesn't happen most of the time, but I guess it might be the case for this stream. And so I think it's time we get right into the game. I have the 3 replays right in front of me. Are you ready to start the first replay?
Am I ever? I don't think I could ever be properly ready, but I am excited for this. So I am in the first replay now, and I've paused at the 3-second mark. So I'll just give me the heads up, and let's get this started.
All right, so I'm at 2 and 3.
Okay. All right. So this is the first match of AS versus RO, and it's important to note AS Underground has already played, and AS Underground was the second team here. But this is not the Underground team. This is the Overground team. This is the #1 team, the prime team of AS. This is AS Alpha. And so if we look at the lineup of AS Alpha here, we've got AS Sermon, AS Noob Hater, and AS Haha. And already out of the bat, interesting choice here in rosters. Obviously, AS Spiridon, a great player in his own right, is sitting on the bench for this first match. And to be honest, I think their roster is looking really strong, and the fact that they can afford to sit Spyrodon is just a testament to that. What's
Yeah,
your
right.
thoughts on their roster here, Jiten?
Yeah, I mean, AS got a pretty strong roster. All the five players, really amazing ones. And the, Noob Hater, haha. I know Sermon and Noob Hater are right now in the chat. I don't think haha is in the chat with us.
Yeah, I'm not sure about haha, but I guess with the different time zones, yeah, it could be early morning, could be afternoon, it could be evening, but this is going broadcast live around the world. So if you're out there, haha, say hi in the chat. But yeah, look, let's have a quick look at their nations as well. So this is the map. First of all, is Great Lakes. We have played, I believe, a couple of matches on Great Lakes so far in this tournament, and always some huge macro games. And often a bit of a race to see who can potentially get the best wonders in the game. So we've got for the AS team we've got Haha as Turks, we've got Noob Hater as the Romans, and then finally we've got Sermon as Mongols. So what do you think of these nations for AS?
Yeah, so for the AS, just let me look again. Oh, I'm in the wrong side. So yeah, so it looks like Turks, Romans, and Mongols. This is an amazing combination. If you have not realized it yet, all of these three are offensive civilizations. They can easily, I mean, a good rush from these three can be unstoppable. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, the fact is, if this was the nations they picked on a map like Sahara or on a map like, something that's close combat like Aussie Outback, I'd be thinking that's a really, really potent trio there. But then I guess on the fact that it's Great Lakes, it's probably helped RO a little bit because there is such a big distance to travel between, where you start out and where you have to go. And so therefore, that Turk rush is not going to be as strong. The Mongol kind of raiding is going to be a bit harder because you've got to navigate through those narrow channels to raid. And to be honest, Romans, they're going to go pretty well on this map. Mongols, Romans, it's really going to come down to not so much who can rush, with an H2 rush here, but perhaps who can rush out the Wonder and try and get to that H2 and get that Colossus or Hanging Gardens down. Because as the game progresses, whoever's got the Hanging Gardens and Colossus on this map has a huge advantage over the other team.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, I would also argue that, yeah, as you said, this is a macro. This is going to be a macro game, mostly booming. So you may also argue that these civilizations are not the best suited for this map, just because on the other side they've got Lakota and Greeks. I would say Greeks are really great for this map, just because they can utilize the wealth from fishes to their fullest and start pumping out scholars at the beginning of the game. Lakota is clearly an all-rounder civilization. They can adapt in any kind of setting. And yeah, we've got Iroquois, man. Iroquois is again really good. I kind of feel Iroquois is an all-rounder too. Just because they got really good raids going on, and at the same time they can hold on their own most of the time because of the friendly units being hidden, or their own units being hidden in the friendly territory. That just gives them a great advantage at defending, and that's what you need. A great defending when you are going for a boom. You need to defend yourself while the aggressing nations are attacking.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you look at these two nations and two sets of nations here and the positioning on the maps. But I feel like this is a relatively balanced kind of lineup here. There's no team that's really out of its depth here. Every single nation's got its benefits. However, I do think that if you're going to get Greeks, this is a good map to get Greeks on for sure. The technology advantage, you can really sit back and boom up. Iroquois is great for getting map control early on, just because the units are so fast and the map is so big. It's so hard to chase down those heavy infantry that are raiding all the rares, and you can really take control of that middle of the map and make sure that you can secure any good rares that might happen to be there. But I think the biggest thing for the Row team right now is the fact that they got Lakota. I'd be interested to see, the biggest thing I'll be watching is where it's Toilet Snake who's got Lakota here, where he's going to build his second city. Because the big thing about lakes is that normally you sit back and you slowly advance towards each other into some kind of middle ground, and then you might form kind of like the trenches, almost like in World War I. You set up trenches on both sides, and it kind of becomes a bit of a battle of attrition, and who can boom in the background the best. Whereas if you can get Lakota and build that second city really close to your opponents, take that map control, and then really sit back and kind of just control and boom and get to age 4 faster, that can be a huge advantage having Lakota in your team.
I would say getting a Lakota is a big boon for this team. Now, if you remember what PLA Mouse did in the last game against AZ2, he allowed both of his teammates to get a nice economy. Meanwhile, he built barracks and stables behind, and he kept raiding all 3 of them. So that guy by himself was mounting pressure enough for that his allies could easily win by themselves. And I would like to see something similar in this game. And this is the kind of map where it's pretty much possible. All Tall Snake needs to do is get one of his villagers in the backyard for AS and start raiding them. That is going to be absolutely phenomenal, because if you can stop these guys from booming and allow your allies to boom really hard with wonders, I think that can decide the fate of the game easily.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we have a quick look at the res that both nations have close to their bases, you do have some pretty substantial res at the very bottom of the map here, next to Istanbul for Haha. You can see that he hasn't actually scouted it yet, but there is a silver just to the bottom left of his base. That silver is going to be worth its weight in gold. Pardon the pun, I guess it'll be worth its weight in silver, because that's going to help so much when it comes to getting those age discounts of 15%. But importantly, they've also scouted the relics, which is just to the right-hand side. Those relics are going to be extremely valuable as this game progresses, because just having that 20 extra knowledge and reducing research times by 33% is so good. It means the difference between aging much faster than your opponents and sitting back and still being in age 3.
Yes, definitely. Relics is going to be great. And if you remember again from the last game, AZ2 versus PLA, AZ2 did not discover silver in time, and that could have been a turning point for them. And I hope as Haha does discover him eventually.
Yeah, that'll be definitely a talking point of this game if they do manage to spot it, or if it sits there unscouted for the entire match and becomes another kind of blooper reel highlight where, unfortunately someone hasn't quite seen it. But then if we look at the other side, I mean, the biggest rare that stands out to me is that just below Athens, we've got diamonds there.
Yeah.
And that, to be honest, that kind of equals things out a little bit in the sense that diamonds, again, just having that 10% extra commerce cap for the entire match and that gold income coming in, that's also really, really helpful. And, it's going to be set up for a really exciting and close match here.
Yes, right. And I mean, I don't think there's a second opinion about it, but I feel that the RO team has got the better rare resources. They've got diamonds, horses, and I think I saw sugar here, and there's sugar, and I think they're also using bison, and probably they could be controlling cotton very soon too. And not to forget, I think these guys got silk somewhere.
And a huge moment in the game just now, but as I alluded to earlier, often this map turns into a race to see who can get the wonders quicker. And you can see that the Turkish player here, Haha, has gone for the typical Great Lakes build, which is go commerce, get all your fish, science, and then go age 2 straight away with no market. And he's saved up for that 200 wood, 200 gold, and has put down the Colossus here much faster than anyone else, and full credit to Haha to do so. I like that move. I think getting Colossus early on is very important. But however, having said that, you can see that Yellow here, Shut Up, playing as the Iroquois player, has already put down his barracks. And if there's one thing we know about Iroquois, it's that they have very fast troops and very fast raiding. So it will be interesting to see if he goes straight for that Colossus and makes life difficult for Haha.
Yeah, but it looks like here and Haha is getting the barracks, and he's also getting the Senate. So I think he should be fine. And actually, I will have to commend him for the fast build. I mean, he was the first one to age, and I don't think anybody else has even clicked up on the classical age. And that just shows you how many times has played this game. He knows exactly what to do to in order to get to classical the fastest and grab that wonder.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. And you look at basically, in my mind, there's two main ways you can approach this map. You can either go for a fast H2, skip civs, skip mill, and go straight for a wonder, or you can go for basically the opposite, which is you sit back, you get your commerce 2, perhaps you get your science 2, and then finally you go to H2. If you have papyrus, you can even go science 3 before H2, and just build this huge economy. And from that point, you just sit there and you collect your 150 food, 150 wood from the very beginning, and get your technology as fast as you can from there. And I think if you look at the Mongol player here, Sermon's kind of gone for that approach. He hasn't gone for the rush of the wonder. He's actually gone for commerce 2 before H2, skipped his civic, and it'll be interesting to see if he might throw down a wonder as well.
Yes, and what do you think is a good wonder for Mongols? All right, so we have already got the answer. Looks like Hanging Gardens it is.
Oh, Hanging Gardens are thrown down, and if I was to give my assessment of his choice there, I would say that is absolutely spot on. Hanging Gardens is definitely has the most utility as a wonder in this particular map. It really does come down to a technology race, and sometimes on this map it just comes down to you just don't have enough universities to fill. Everyone maxes out at 21 universities, 21 scholars in their universities, and having that Hanging Gardens providing an extra 50 knowledge can be such a huge factor in this game.
Yeah, that Hanging Gardens providing you enough knowledge to just like another university that's full of 7 scholars, and which is a big deal easily, because remember, you're just spending 200 wealth and a little bit of time, and in return for that you're getting a value for much more than that. If you were to make villager like scholars university, you would end up spending a way more than 200 wealth for 7 scholars. So that's all being covered by Hanging Gardens. So easily this is a great investment of resources.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if we just look at the setup and the posturing of this match so far, it's interesting because I feel like, as we talked about it earlier in the game, AS have been around for such a long time. I'm sure they're all, communicating well as a team together. They would have strategized, they would have thought about scenarios, and they probably would have sat down and said, hey, if we get Great Lakes, what's our plan? What are we going to do? And obviously they've executed on their plan now. They've got both wonders early on. They've got, the Mongol player here with Commerce 2. Sermon's got Commerce 2 and a Hanging Garden. So economically, he's doing great. And also he's got the Hanging Gardens about to complete as well. You've got the Colossus at the bottom. And then finally in the center, you've got Rome. Let's look at the technology of Rome here. So he's gone for a more standard build. Perhaps he's the, standard kind of, goes straight down the middle of the line and provides some troops just in case the other guys might need some support here.
Yeah, and looks like Red is, he's being a perfect accessory to his teammates. If you see here, blue is booming, purple is booming, meanwhile Red is making sure that he rates each and every person. He has been going on each and every resource that I have seen so far in the opponent team. Now, just before we proceed to anything else, I would like to get your attention to the back of the base. And Toilet Snake has set up a small raiding party, and I don't think it's just a raiding party. It's probably also it's a full-fledged rushing artillery. There's got siege workshop, so he's going to be attacking very soon.
Wow, this is pretty exciting because, this is a big investment to make. I wouldn't say it's necessarily an all-in, because if this doesn't work out, obviously the game will continue and they're definitely still in the match. But if he can somehow build these siege workshops and capture that capital of probably Rome, it looks like he'll go for. It'll be interesting to see if Red sees this coming, because that's one of the sneaky things about Lakota. You can't really ever know for sure where they are, because they can build buildings anywhere on the map. It doesn't have to be in their territory, as long as it's not in your territory. And at the moment, it looks like they're none the wiser. They did see that horse archer kill that merchant, but that could just be a raid, or it could be a fully fledged rush here. And this is going to be exciting to see if they cotton on to what's going on.
Oh, a great move by Sermon. If you notice that Sermon just pointed out the exact place where he thinks the Lakota base is, and he was quite accurate there.
Oh wow, oh, I did not see that, but that's you can see that there's a horse archer that's getting bribed here as well by Sermon. Oh, and some good micro there. Toilet Snake was about to lose his horse archer to that bribe, but killed him just at the last second to avoid it going to the opponent. So well played there, good micro.
Yeah, and looks like Toilet Snake is giving it all. He's giving it his all to this raid, um, because yeah, he is getting his despot from the sidelines to behind that raiding scene, and I mean he's gone despot. Now that should tell you enough about what his plan is. He is, I mean, on Great Lakes, a despot is the biggest risk you can take. Because if this rush fails right now, then he's gonna have to live with that reduced 50 minus commerce cap compared to everybody else for the rest of the game, and that cannot be good. And he's also a little slow. I feel he should be running pretty fast right now. Toilet Snake here has got a nice army. All he needs to do is quickly go to one of these guys, either Noob Hater or Haha. Who do you think, if you were in his place, who do you think would be a easier target?
Look, I think you've got to go for probably the closer player here because you can just reinforce so much quicker. And in this case, I believe it is Noob Hater. But interesting. I think the scout for Sermon, they know that there's some kind of Lakota building here. They don't know whether it's a full attack or if it's just a single stable. And you can see that he's got a wild horse searching around there. You've got Haha, a purple player with a horse waiting for that horse archer to come by. They don't know yet though that there's a huge army massing there, which is going for that capsack. And Toilet Snake just sitting back, massing out units. Oh, they're so close to each other, but yeah, just cannot see it yet. And it looks like he's slowly moving the horse towards. They are going to scout it.
Oh, shortly, and Sermon finds it out, man. That's a bummer. And I would say, I mean, he's. Toilet Snake should have been more swift about it. Now he has just announced that he's right there. So this gives both red and purple enough time to safeguard themselves, and that cannot be good for this raid. This was supposed to be a surprise raid, and it's no more that now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even argue that this is no longer a raid. This is a full-on committed, frontline attack. Given how many troops he's got, this is designed to either maim or kill Noob Hater here. And, obviously getting that heads up is a huge thing because if that came by surprise, I don't think there's any way you'd be able to come back and, defend that without losing the capsack. But, now that they've got the intel and the heads up there, you can see all of Noob Hater's troops are rotating down towards the base. He knows that, he knows that Toilet Snake is on the way, but Toilet Snake's actually making a detour here, realizing this and going towards the Turkish player's base instead, where the Colossus is.
Oh yeah, and meanwhile, Shut Up is mounting great pressure, and in the front, he doesn't want Haha to be involved anywhere else, and that's really good. I would also say the RO team has been slightly unlucky because every time they try to sneak in, they have been caught by somebody. So initially it was that Amber Merchant, then it was the Light Horse from Sermon, and just now there was another merchant from Haha which just caught the army.
Oh my god! And if you look at this army going in at the bottom, there's a huge green army here going straight for Istanbul with siege as well. And obviously, Haha can't do everything. He's getting attacked from the front and from behind here. And you've got Noob Hater coming in from behind, trying to save and get there as quick as possible. But can they prevent the capsack? Oh, AH3 does go down, and the city is now big. So that is huge.
And well, I guess Noob Hater is there right on time to save him.
Yeah, wow. Talk about this game. Sometimes a few seconds can make a huge difference, and that was literally down to the timer. A couple of seconds later with that age, and he might have lost that capsack. But wow, talk about a game of inches, and AS have probably come out of this in a really good position given the circumstances.
Yes, right. And I also feel it was a kind of reckless move by Toilet Snake because he first of all he got caught, his raid was caught, and then I feel maybe just instead of a rush, a swift raid from the back would have made more sense because he would not be endangering his whole teamwork right there, because now he is in a back foot. You can easily see that, and Haha is back in form. He has got a pretty nice, I mean, he's going to have a pretty nice economy once he gets back on his foot. You can see his wealth income, that's a 200. And
yeah, that's
Red
insane wealth income,
Red
man.
can easily come in to help Haha right here, while Tallest Snake is still in classical age, and I don't see him aging to medieval anytime soon.
No, I don't think he will. And the biggest thing about, if there's anyone watching, wondering, what you can do to really play well. If you look at the number of fish the best players have, every single fish is used, because fish are the best rare resource in this game, I'd say. Even better than relics. Well, arguably, relics and silver are great, but fish are so useful. The wealth income is so important. And on this map, if possible, you want to use every single patch of fish you can, because that's what the best players do, and that's how they get so far ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Man, Haha versus Shut Up here does not look good for Shut Up, because I know even though he's getting a castle behind, Haha is still a lot ahead of him in terms of, I would say, in terms of wealth only for now. But I'm sure he's going to, I mean, getting a castle down for Turks is no big deal. That's what Turks do, siege buildings and bring them down to dirt.
Yeah, exactly right. And I mean, you've got the biggest thing about Haha right now is he has that Colossus, and due to this map and just the way this map always works out, if you've got the Colossus, it's a very defensive, macro-oriented map. That population limit is huge, and if you look at the population limits, you've got Shut Up versus Haha, yellow versus purple. Shut Up's already maxed out with his population at 75. He's about to finish his military research, so that's popped up to 100 now. But I mean, if you look at Haha, he's got a population cap of 125, and he hasn't even researched that Mil 3 yet. He's going Science 3 instead. Just knowing that he doesn't really need that population boost just yet. He can just sit back, tech up faster, and then probably hit gunpowder age quicker than he otherwise would.
Yeah, but you should also note that if you are skipping Military 3, you are also losing on the possibility to get Tactics upgrade, which Shut Up is getting right now.
Yes, that's a very good point, and that's a huge trade-off there. If I was in Haha's position here, I think the best move to do is, he's going for the science, so he doesn't want to engage when he doesn't have the armor upgrade. Looks like Shut Up has different ideas, though, starting to move his troops forward, and it'll be interesting to see if, Shut Up tries to take advantage of that armor imbalance and really force an engagement when he does have, an additional 2 armor.
Yeah, and just getting your attention here at the back of the base where Tallest Snake has put up a city. It's a very questionable decision because with this city, that means Tallest Snake can no longer trade with this city. It has a Red's base in the middle, so no caravan income for him. And he also just lost his despot, and you can see his capital is way back on the other corner of the map. So by the time that despot comes in, it may be just too late. And looking at Noob Hater's army, I don't think Tallest Snake is in a very good position to defend himself.
Yeah, it's an interesting move here. I'd say definitely a questionable decision as far as fortifying this city. I think probably perhaps the better option would have been just to cut your losses and rebuild everything back on their side of the map so that you can get your caravans up and running. Because at the moment there's no way. I don't see there's a path between his other 2 cities and that particular city for a caravan trade route. I mean, they're going to have to go outside of the entire map, I think, to get there, because there is no way they're getting through that blockade.
Yeah, so looking at Tallest Snake and Shut Up, I don't think these guys have any particular advantage against their opponents. So it's all coming down to Zeus versus Sermon on the other side. Both Zeus and Sermon are going to be aging to gunpowder, and looks like Sermon is going to be a little ahead. So what do you think? Do you think Zeus can bring down Sermon on this side?
Well, the interesting thing is with Zeus, he's such a good player, and you can see the spies there trying to bribe that trebuchet by the looks of it, and does get the bribe. But I mean, yeah, if you look at their technology, they're both very evenly placed. I mean, Sermon has knowledge income of 239 at the moment. versus Zeus's 230. And the reason for that is because while Sermon got the Hanging Gardens and got the extra knowledge income, Zeus actually went for the pyramids. And when you get the pyramids, you can build that extra city and build another university and fill it up with scholars. So Zeus now has 24 scholars and up to 35 if he was able to get it. Whereas Sermon is limited only to the 3 cities at the moment and 21.
And yeah, point to be noted that Sermon has, Zeus has got 5 cities, including the Forbidden City. So if this game did not require any urgent attention like how it does right now, because Noob Hater is owning Tallest Snake on this side, and Haha seems to be very dominant over Shut Up as well. I think Zeus might have won this game in a long run, maybe by the time of Enlightenment Age. Just looking at what's the opportunity he has, depending on all the cities he has, and how he can just start massing up scholars. But it looks like we might not be able to see Enlightenment Age, looking at how the Tallest Snake is. He just lost a city, and Haha is clearly at a front foot as well.
Yeah, it's good play here by Noob Hater, just realizing that, capitalizing, I guess, on a potential mistake here by Toilet Snake, getting a little bit stubborn with this city and trying to dig in and hold it. Ultimately going to be a futile exercise here because it's just too hard to reinforce. And I'd like to see Toilet Snake kind of finally cut his losses and just start to rebuild at the front and do what he can to. He'll probably have to play a little bit defensively now because he has taken a big loss losing that city. But it's all about your team now and sitting back and trying to limit the damage that Red can do.
Yeah, and well, Tallest Snake lost his despot again, and it's just an uphill battle for him. If he's gonna keep losing the despot, I don't think he has any chance against Noob Hater. His despot is just going to make his way all the way to the other corner. That's literally the farthest distance you can travel using a unit. Yeah,
exactly. And you can see AS starting to send some raiders to try and do some damage behind enemy lines here. A few nomads from the Mongol player and a couple of heavy cavalry knights. Sorry, are sent to. Looks like they're on a mission to kill this Silk, which is actually not being used at the moment, and whatever else they can get their hands on.
Yeah, and I mean a nice raiding party going there. If you see on Shut Up side, Haha has sent 3 heavy cavalries. Then there are 2 heavy cavalries from Noob Hater on the other side and 3 from Sermon. So everybody is participating equally. Meanwhile, a Toilet Snake comes here. He's trying to sneak in from back of the Sermon space, but I don't think he's going to make that. He does not have a supply, and the army just doesn't seem big enough to take down that capital.
Yeah, I mean, actually, even though it seems like a little bit crazy here, I actually don't mind this move because, yes, technically Lakota is he's lost a lot of units and so on. The fact that he's just doing this just to annoy and disrupt the other side, that's really got to be frustrating if you're playing as Sermon, because now Sermon has to move all of his troops back. He's losing his rhythm a bit, he's losing income, and yeah, Toilet Snake is just trying to disrupt the flow of this match for the other guys as much as possible. And meanwhile, Red's got to come all the way back as well to help. So yeah, I actually don't mind this. A little bit crazy play by the Malaysian player Toilet Snake here, but maybe his middle name's Chaos and he just wants to throw some chaos into the mix.
Yeah, probably that's Toilet Chaos Snake. But well, Toilet Snake is trying his best. He's got another city at the back. I think he is just given up on cashing on that caravan income. And if Zeus can hold this city, this could be a game changer. I mean, I'm still not in favor of Toilet Snake's decisions in this game, but if it allows Zeus to get an upper hand, that's definitely worth it.
Exactly, and I mean, I think that's going to be the story of this match. Is firstly, can Zeus overcome Sermon here? 2 great players going at it with huge economies, and then you've also got the storyline of Toilet Snake throwing chaos into the mix. But the reality is, you've still got to be able to defend your front line, and his main city in the middle there is now getting sieged, and looks like it's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, so Toilet Snake is not going to hold up against Noob Hater, that's for sure. And on this side, I think Sermon is going to reclaim that city, and yeah, he is going to own Zeus as well. And if you look at Haha versus Shut Up, no doubt Haha has a ginormous army, and he's also an age ahead. This game does not look good for RO.
No, it's not. You can see that AS are playing really great together as a team. They've played fairly conservatively and responded as they needed to. And you can see that Sermon importantly is pushing back Zeus there at the top with a huge army, huge amount of heavy cavalry, heavy knights, sorry, which are really driving back that force of Zeus's. And I mean, I like Zeus's choice of wonders here. He's got the Forbidden City and the pyramids. So he's got huge amount of food income coming in, and he's pretty much capped out at wood as well. But I mean, yeah, it'll just be interesting to see, if he can mass his army up and push back Sermon, because the road team really needs him to be able to win on his side. And at the moment, it looks like Sermon is basically holding firm against this annoying attack from Lakota.
Yeah, and I would say Zeus has got the perfect wonder combination to get that super awesome boom. He can I can bet if this game lasts for long, then he's going to be the first player to reach Enlightenment Age if he uses all his cities and gets scholars and all of them. But the only catch is that he does not have enough time. He needs to kill Sermon really fast, and looking at how big Sermon's army is and how well he has got his economy up, it does not look like Zeus is going to be able to do that. Meanwhile, Noob Hater also takes down Tallest Snake City, and it's just obvious that the next target for Noob Hater should be Zeus City or Tallest Snake's capital. And it just answering to the comments from HNZ88, he said the game was decided when Tallest Snake got that city from the back, and I believe that's an accurate depiction of what happened and what went wrong in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to check with you, Jatin. What point in the game are you in at the moment? What's your timer say?
I am at 29 minutes 20 seconds.
Okay, perfect. No worries.
Okay, it
sure
says
I'm fairly close.
It's buffering. So yeah, let's pause the game quickly. Can you pause it right now? 1, 2, 3.
Yep. Was it 29:34?
Yeah, so I'm having some connection issues. Sometimes my upload rate for the stream just goes to 0, and I think that's why everybody is facing some trouble for buffering issues. And thanks, Young One, for pointing this out. Now, if everything looks good, we are going to start the game. Just one of you give us a hint in the comment section, and we will start again. And Jimmy Ellman, I think he's Quantum Floyd. He says the rush was delayed too long, and yeah, I do agree with that. That was a very long time for the Classical Age rush. Tallest Snake allowed himself to get exposed, and that's when his whole rush failed.
Yeah, agreed. And so I guess anyone that's watching the stream, maybe just try refreshing your browser, just in case that should bring it up to date if it is a little bit behind. But yeah, I'm at the 29-minute and 34-second mark. So it appears that the stream should be back up and running again now. I can see it on my iPad here. And yeah, so far it looks okay, but it's still at, yeah, it's just reached the pause mark then. So I might refresh take my own advice and refresh the stream.
All right, so I think we can start right now. And you said you were at 29:34?
Yeah, I'm at 29:34.
Okay, so correct. I'm 3 seconds behind you, and I'll start the countdown. So 2,
no worries.
3, and 4.
Done. All right, and back into the action of it. And you can see that purple is pushing forward on yellow's army here, and does take the city. So. Wow, a huge army here by Haha. He's got a Colossus army going on here. And, you know, Iroquois players got a decent-sized army too, but it's just not enough. And there's a big difference between the ages here. Age 4 units versus age 3. And is that a monarch I see? No, it's a senator at this point in time. But you can bet if you know how Haha plays, there will be a Monarch coming out soon, and this is going to get really, really tough for Gabriel.
Oh yeah, and you just predicted it, man. Great job. He just clicked on Monarch. And yeah, no, I don't think there's any way Shutup is going to survive. He has no backup from Toilet Snake. Toilet Snake himself needs a backup. He's got 2 cavalry in his corner city, and I don't think he's going to be much use in the rest of this game. Meanwhile, Zeus does have a chance right now. He has got a gigantic army there, arguably at the same level, at the same numbers as Sermon. However, Zeus has got the operations upgrade and Sermon does not, and that can make a lot of difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's the other thing to keep in mind is whether Zeus goes for the Monarch as well, because having that extra 2 armor here versus, you know, Sermon does already have a Monarch out. And it's a bit of a trade-off between, you know, do you go for that Monarch or do you try and age up to age 5 quicker and then go for the attack then? But I would like to see, yeah, perhaps Zeus go for that Monarch quickly because that will give him the additional 2 armor. He'll be on an even footing with the opponent's horses, and he's still got the operations upgrade as well.
Yes, and finally Sermon gets the operations upgrade as well, and he's got a nice army, so I think he's going to be able to hold on that. And I have to give it to Sermon. He has been attacked by Toilet Snake from behind and Zeus from the front, and he's been able to hold on his own for most of the time. I know he has received some resources from Noob Hater, but that still is never enough for taking care of 2 armies at 2 different fronts. So really a nice job by Sermon here.
Yeah, Sermon doing a great job here. I mean, you can see that he's going toe-to-toe with Zeus and charging him now, and it looks like Zeus is, you know, slowly losing here. You know, just too many heavy knights pushing forward with, you know, obviously the operations upgrade and the Monarch. And I think Sermon did a great job being patient, waiting until he had all his ducks lined up in a row. He had his armor upgrades, he had his Monarch, and yeah, ultimately just had way too many units for Zeus to deal with.
And that's another turning point for this battle, that Zeus did not have Monarch and Sermon did. So all Sermon's cavalry they had +2 armor and their production was also faster. So I think AS has won this game quite unequivocally. There's no way I could say, oh, if somebody could have held on for a little longer, because I can see Sermon is going to be owning Zeus very soon, no doubt about it. And on this side, Noob Hater killed Toilet Snake very gracefully, and Haha is taking out Shutup too. So there's no doubt this was a complete complete cleaning of the opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is, yeah, you can see the players are throwing out GGs now. Probably not going to be too long now, I believe, before they'll eventually, you know, tap out and resign. But yeah, just you can see that capitulation in the middle here, completely imbalanced this side. I mean, it looks like Haha had the upper hand against Shutup regardless, because he had that Colossus and he's just a great player. But I mean, yeah, you've got Noob Hater coming in from the side there, taking that city, and yeah, this is snowballing really quickly now, and the RO guys are in trouble.
Yeah, and if you were in this team, would you have yelled at Toilet Snake in the post game for what he did?
Look, I think it's easy to cast blame on your teammates when it doesn't work out well, but the reality is, it really came down to seconds there. I mean, if Toilet Snake had captured that capital and got the plus 500 bonus, we could be seeing a completely different scenario right now. And I think it's definitely a very bold move. But I mean, in this game, sometimes you've got to make those risks and see how they pay off. And obviously, it's risky for a reason. If it doesn't work, then yeah, you're in a bad spot. So I think, yeah, perhaps they would be thinking, oh, maybe Toilet Snake could have gone for a more conservative option, sat in the middle and boomed and just held his own. But I mean, the way this game's played out, I guess, he's still tried to make the most of his Lakota powers. He's been harassing Blue, and to Blue's credit, I mean, he's been able to basically defend his own main and effectively out macro Zeus, who's the Greek player here, with the use of that Hanging Gardens. So overall, yeah, look, really interesting match, and yeah, it's hard to say whose fault. It's more comes down to a few key moments and some great scouting by AS, detecting that Lakota rush neutralizing it.
Yeah, and I also feel, as pointed out by HNZ88 in the comment section, that if Toilet Snake was a little faster, if he had not waited so much, the game could have been turned around, right? Because Shutup was attacking Haha at the same time as Toilet Snake was there. So if they could have just taken out Haha, that could be a big deal for this whole game.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think finally seeing the GGs get thrown out again. And yeah, a couple of people now leaving the game by the looks of it. And that's all she wrote. So, wow, what a great game. I thought that was really interesting to watch. Yeah, definitely the RO guys will be disappointed with the way it worked out there. But you can see that, some of those things we talked about early on kind of came into fruition. We had, the AS guys had the relics and the silver, which really bodes well for the long term. But at the same time, the RO guys had diamonds. And I think the biggest thing in my mind that kind of decided the long-term outcome of this game was, who's going to go for those wonders quickly? Who's going to rush out the wonders? And, Mongols and Turks are great nations to get things moving really quickly. They took full advantage and got the Hanging Gardens out and also the Colossus. Whereas if you look at the RO guys, you've got Greeks, Iroquois, and Lakota. Who knows, maybe in hindsight it would have been good to maybe say, hey, get our Lakota player to rush out a wonder. And because I know Lakota's scary once their economy's up and running, and Lakota and a wonder, that could be a really deadly mix as well. But overall, GG, well played by everyone. And obviously full credit to AS for nailing this match.
Oh yeah, they absolutely nailed it, and I'm really impressed by the awesome teamwork we have seen in this game, and I can't wait to get my hands on the second game.
Yeah, me too. So let's start to load that up. Let us know in the comments if the stream is coming through smoothly now, or if there's any issues that we can try and fix up. So far, it sounds like it's okay. So we will be responsive to, I guess, what we hear from you guys. Okay, so game number 2.
All right, so Sermon says it's fine, so let's get on with it.
All right, so I'm in the replay as well.
So I've got Sermon as Dutch. That's oh no, a noob hater as Dutch. That's
okay,
number 2 replay, right?
3-second mark.
Okay. So I'll do the countdown 1, 2, and 3.
Play. All right, here we go.
And yeah, this is African watering hole. I'm not a fan of this map, as I must have made it clear in all my casts. But these games are quite fun to watch just because of all that's happening on both the fronts.
Yes, exactly right, and it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. The most obvious thing I've just noticed when you have a quick squiz at this map and you look around the different rares, you can see that there is a copper sitting directly above where it looks like Haha is building his base, and immediately that copper is probably going to be a big focus of this game because, as we've talked about before, copper is very, very handy to have because it gives your ships basically 20% more hit points. And I mean, if they can scout that, which I'm sure they will, given that all rares on this map are close to the center, that's probably going to set the tone for this game and how it evolves.
Yeah, and just looking at the chat right now, HNZ88 says if there's any way we can get the 1080p instead of 720p. So I believe the stream that I started in the morning did not have the black bars. I'll have to look into this matter, what's happening, why there are black bars. But I've had some issues with 1080p. There's sometimes lag and there's more buffering for viewers. So I would rather have a lower quality instead of a lot of latency and constant buffering for the viewers. It's some issue with my connection. I do think I have a nice connection here, but it still happens. So maybe I'll upgrade my connection in the near future. But for now, we'll have to stick with the 720p. I will look at the black bars after this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just quickly look at the nation. So we've got With RO we'll start with AS. So we've got AS with Koreans, Greeks, and the Dutch versus RO, who are playing as the Inca, Mongols, and British. So what's your thoughts on those nations, I guess, as a first impression?
So I don't think there's any doubt that again this time RO team has got the better nations. Inca is clearly I mean, who doesn't like Inca, right? And British are really good with their extra commerce cap, and Mongols, you can never go wrong with the Mongols. Mongols is a perfect mix of boom and raid. So I don't think these guys are gonna have any problem here. On the other side for AS, they've got haha with Koreans. Well, I'm not a big fan of Koreans, just because I feel I'm bound to play more defensive and in a booming way. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Koreans are a really cool cool nation to play as on particular maps. Probably prefer them more on maps like Sahara or on Himalayas or something like that, where you can really use their repairing and defensive nature and militia rush as well. But on this particular map, definitely not one of their best maps. And then you've got Athens, you've got the Greek player here. Sermon's playing as Greek, which ironically he was playing against Greek in the last match. I don't particularly like Greeks on this map either, because they're just so slow, and it's very hard to secure that gold income permanently unless you can obviously get the enough warships out to hold the pond. And then finally you've got the Dutch player here. Again, Dutch, not a bad nation on this map, because they get they've got that better marine capability. They get the free light ship, and they can build fishing ships faster, I believe.
No, that's British.
Oh, sorry, I take that back. It's ship upgrades are 10% cheaper, so they can get those really heavy ships upgraded a lot quicker than their opponents. But look, having said that, this is why I love Rise of Nations, and it comes down to which team can adapt and make the most. Because coming into this match, no one knew what nation they would get, no one knew what rares they're going to get. But then you look at the nations on the right-hand side. You've got the rogue guys have what you would argue as really solid nations. Nothing there that's really considered a weaker or a bottom tier nation. But on the other side, you've got the AS guys have middle of the road. They're not too bad, but they're certainly not nations you would hope for. But they've got the copper there, and that copper is literally the difference between potentially being at the disadvantage to being right back in the balance here.
Oh yeah, and let's I mean, it's very important to look at the rare resources. So let's start with the AS side. They've got the only two rare resources in this map that give you advantage on water. They've got those, the copper and cotton. So it's going to be interesting to see how AS can use water. They should probably be the better. They have an extra edge on water, since they've got both of these nice rares, and RO has got none of those.
Yeah, exactly. And just to clarify that for anyone who's watching, so the only other rare which is really good on this map would be Citrus. Citrus heals all of your water units pretty much throughout the game, as if they had a Patriot just sitting next to them. And I mean, in this instance, cotton really helps, because cotton helps your production time for both barracks, stable, and your dock. And so when it comes to those ship battles of building heaps of triremes, if you've got cotton, it just means that you've got that extra edge there. Your units are coming out that much faster, and you can get that many more arrows shot off against your opponents than they can fire on you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those, I mean, these rare resources decide a lot on this map specifically, Watering Hole. But I wouldn't say that the RO has got a bad deal. They've got silver, which I'm hoping that they're going to secure that, unless of course Noob Hater builds his city and gets silver for himself. They've also got diamonds here, and I would argue that they're going to be able to secure sugar as well. So diamond, sugar, silver, not a bad deal at all. That's going to give them a lot of advantage on land at least.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a really interesting dynamic here, because I mean, you've got, obviously AS has the advantage on the water here with their res, but you've got RO with really awesome res that they could potentially, if they do lose the water, they could sit back, make use of those res, and just build up a massive land army and almost just play as if there wasn't any water on this map at all. And so I'm curious to see that, because you can see right now you've got Zeus throwing down his second city, securing that sugar nice and close to it. I really like that move. Those diamonds are nicely placed. Very hard to raid there because it's in that little pocket against the lake. And yeah, silver is still up in the air, I guess, but slightly closer to the Incan capital. So they should be able to secure those 3 rares. And yeah, they definitely can't finish this game and say, oh, we didn't get very good rares. You got sugar, diamonds, and silver. It doesn't get much better than that as far as land rares go.
Yeah, and just something that HNZ88 asked in the chat. He said, citrus or copper, which one is better for large naval battles? And what I believe is copper easily is the better rare of the two, because in large battles, if you have 10 ships and each ship gets a 20% boost of HP, that clearly translates into a win for you, versus citrus, which is going to eventually heal your ships, but the heal is not fast enough to compensate for the extra HP that copper gives you. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that 100%. I believe I'd always go for copper every time if I had the choice between the two. But I would say that the one time I'd prefer citrus wouldn't be on this particular map. It would be more on a map like Aussie Outback, where you might try and build several light ships and you want them constantly going around raiding the opponent's fish. And if you have the citrus there, you can constantly move those light ships around and they're constantly getting their health back. But in straight up battles like this is just trench warfare with ships basically on this map. It all comes down to heavy ships, and if you can get that copper, that 20% upgrade is huge.
Yeah, definitely, and I completely agree with your comment about Aussie Outback. And just pointing out here, Shut Up has started a land raid. He did not get a dock initially. He decided to get a market instead, and it looks like this is going to be quite a successful raid, I believe, because or maybe not, because Noob Hater has got his barracks down as well.
Yeah, you can see Noob Hater has prepared for this almost, and building a slinger and an archer as well to send that threat off. And meanwhile, it's all about balance on this map. It's about balancing your land with your ships, because you kind of need both. And I wonder if RO know about the copper at this point in time.
Yeah, that's yeah, they do know. RO, let's see. No, RO do not know about the copper. Actually, they have not scouted as well as the AS team. Look at the AS scouting. They almost know the entire map right now.
Yeah, that's insane scouting here, and full credit. I wonder who to give the full props to, but it looks like they're all doing their best. They're seeing every single patch of black fog of war here. So congratulations to them. That's going to set them up really well. Whereas, at the moment, RO players don't actually know what their opponent's rares are. So how can you try and adapt when you don't even know that you're coming up against copper here?
Yes, right. And looks like Noob Hater is going to get that silver in this no man's land somewhere near the border. And he's also getting a tower. Great for him. So now, I don't know if he's going to be using this for this game, but yeah, well, and he's Dutch. He's got an armed merchant, so probably he can just get that merchant here right before he ages. Clicks up on the age and send it back.
Yeah, it looks like that's a great play there by Noob Hater. Sectioning off that silver and just denying RO full free use of it. And yeah, perhaps I think Shut Up might be thinking, oh, maybe I should have got my sieve a little bit faster and tried to secure that myself.
Oh yeah, definitely. And here Zeus has just raided the copper. I wonder if he's going to take down the copper merchant for green, but that was definitely good. He delayed the tower and he also got rid of the other 2 merchants. So do you think that was worth losing 2 units there?
Look, I think it's definitely very, very important to try and raid that copper, because now that they know that the copper's there, they know that their task of securing the water is that much harder. But I mean, at the same time, it's more just a temporary delay. The AS guys are in a good position to tower that and restock that copper, and so they need to I'd like to see the rogue guys kind of sit back, analyze the situation they're in, realize that they've got great rares with sugar and diamonds, and they haven't got silver anymore, but sugar and diamonds are 2 of the best rares in the game. and maybe pivot towards. They either got to go one way or the other. They got to try and fight back on water and just go all in there, despite the fact they're against copper, or they need to pivot towards land and just go for a big, double or some kind of big land attack and really catch AS off guard.
Yeah, you're right there, and I do think that attack on copper was worth it, because for a brief time that means that all of these three players will have to send their merchants back in, and for a brief period these their ships also did not have the extra 20 HP, so that might help them to regain the water until the copper merchants are replenished.
Yeah, I agree. And if you look at the different gold incomes coming in, that's telling a bit of a story right now. So you've got red with 50 gold coming in, you've got white with 40, and you've got green with 40. And actually, it's fairly even around everyone. Everyone seems to have about that 40 income coming in.
Yeah,
so no one really dominating.
Thanks to that diamond.
Yeah, I was thinking, I can't see too many fish, but yes, it is those diamonds which are really helping out, kind of bridge that gap that otherwise be behind a bit in the stakes of the gold. And we can see that it looks like the Wonder is going down for Toilet Snake here.
Oh yeah, so as a British player, getting Wonder, not the worst idea. He also seems to be ready in case there is an aggression, because he has three archers outside. And it looks like Zeus is also getting Civic too. So I don't think these guys are in any mood to finish the game on the land, as we were talking about. So this game is going to be going on for a while now.
Yeah, I think they're both kind of drawing a line in the sand and saying this is where we're going to fight. At the moment, they're both pretty content to sit back in the water and just fish their own patches of territory and not kind of aggravate the opponent. Often it can only take one person throwing a stone across for the other team to retaliate, building more ships. So at the moment, they've got a bit of a ceasefire by the looks of it. And the AS guys have, I believe it looks like 4 patches of fish. And I'm pretty sure they're happy with that, knowing that the opponents only have 2.
Yeah, so yeah, easily RO is not the dominant team on water. And I would also like to point out that RO has not been very lucky with the mountains. They've got limited mountains, I think only 3 so far, and with that city, Zeus just got a 4th one. But limited mountains means the British already has the extra cap, so he's not going to be able to make the best use out of his cap. Same goes for Inga. Shut Up is currently limited to a +5 mountain at the corner, which also means it can be raided by Noob Hater. While on the AS side, they have been quite lucky with the mountains. Look, Noob Hater has got a +10. And here Sermon has got a +8, Green has got a +8 here, and these guys still have other mountains to spare.
Yeah, exactly. They've still got 2 mountains that are small, that are behind, that they can hopefully gain later on in the match. But yeah, there is one mountain just at the very edge there which they can actually use from now on. So that's definitely an important matter here, and it'll be interesting to see if the Rogue guys recognize that they are short on metal. They have got Toilet Snake's Wonder, which is now completed. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And obviously later on in the match, it might turn out to be a masterstroke if he can outboom everyone from a technology side of things. But at the moment, it looks like everyone's just fairly content to sit back. You've got AS Sermon, the white player. He's upgraded his ships, and he has quite the armada going on in the center now. It looks like he will go out and raid those final patches and making full use of that copper.
Yes, that's right. And I want to point out that Shut Up has just started filling up his university. He has the lowest knowledge income among all the players right now, and yeah, Toilet Snake has the highest. Obviously, he has the Hanging Gardens, but that's a great move by him. Maybe looking at the last game where he messed up a little bit with the early rush, it's possible that he felt there's a need to go slowly this game, take your time, because British is possibly another rushing nation. Because of that extra 25% cap, you can easily go Despot and just start sieging your way through your opponent's city, but Toilet Snake did not do that this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, It's interesting because I wonder if Toilet Snake in the last match went for that crazy rush because his kind of reputation is he's known as a fairly conservative player when you normally play with him. He normally just likes to sit back and boom, and maybe he thought that given his reputation, no one would see it coming if he went for this crazy Lakota, all-in type rush from behind. But yeah, obviously he's probably not as comfortable playing that style as well because it's not his natural game style, and so therefore I think he's definitely more in his element now. Booming up, getting that hanging gardens, and building up a big army and trying to take his way to victory.
Yes, and I mean here Shut Up seems to be struggling a little bit. He is getting despotism. Are you seeing that? And what do you think about despotism on a watering hole?
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting strategy here. I feel like it's a good move if you think that the game is starting to slip away from you a bit and you just need to kind of put everything on the line. If he does go for it though, I would like to see maybe something a little bit risky, like maybe a militia pull, just to really give it that extra added power. Because at the moment, you've got Noob Hater here. He's had plenty of time to boom up, and you never want to play as Despot when you're defending. You want to play as Despot when you're on the attack. And you can see that Noob Hater is moving in here trying to take this city, and we'll see if Shut Up can hold.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're right about that. You don't want despotism to be your... I mean, if you have to get despotism because you have to defend yourself, well, you're clearly not in a good position in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Much more effective to get that Senator, because the Senator can bribe units and obviously heal your troops as well. So always very tricky. I don't know if that's good advice to say the best way to defend against Despot is just to attack them. It's somewhat true though, because it definitely throws a Despot player off, because a Despot player should be the one that's knocking on your door and putting you under pressure. And yeah, it must be very frustrating for Shut Up right now.
Right, and it looks like Tallest Snake just helped Shut Up, and I would argue that without Tallest Snake, the game might have been a little bit different. I think Noob Hater was in a perfect place to take that city.
Yeah, and you can see Toilet Snake nearly lost a couple of troops there, but managed to just move them back in time, and they won't go down for free. And this is now looking like Zeus. Zeus is starting to get a bit aggressive here at the bottom here, and yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see where this goes. I mean, AS have well and truly secured, by the looks of it, this lake in the middle, and they're content to hold off their fishing patches along this middle divide. And I think as the game wears on, that gold income is going to be very handy, because you'll get more gold from a fish than you will just from those diamonds.
Oh yes, and you've got so many fish patches, so if you can control the water, then you've got a big pool of income. You've got all these food and wealth coming directly to you. And looks like the RO team is realizing that it cannot win this game without controlling the water, and it is being more active on water. It has just reclaimed, I guess, 2 patches. And they're giving a hard time to the AS team, but yeah, if you look at the economies, I would say that of course Shut Up has gone for despotism, so it's a do or die for him right now. He better finish fast, or else he's going to be way behind in the late game. And here Noob Hater has got a nice economy. Almost everything is 150. He's got a better knowledge income than Shut Up as well, or I would argue it's about the same. Then Tallest Snake, he is reaching there. He's still not at the 255 economy, or even half of that as he should be. But not bad.
And you can see the ambush going through.
Oh yeah, I was going to point out
right
too.
Now.
Thanks for that. So thanks to Shut Up's lookout, that ambush was just detected. And what do you think? Just if you were a betting man, would you think Noob Hater is going to make it?
I don't think he's got enough siege to give it a quick knockout punch here. And so it looks like Noob Hater is kind of retreating and getting into position here. I don't mind the move because he's got a great economy, but yeah, definitely a little bit risky this play. Perhaps the safer option would have been to sit back and wait for a tech advantage, because his economy obviously is a lot stronger than the Despot players at the moment.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Noob Hater is in no hurry right now. He should be just going back and not losing this army. Now this can prove to be a major, I mean a big mistake from him, because if he just lost his
Yeah.
army, he's just giving a lot of advantage to Shut Up. Shut Up still has a nice army there, and thanks to that, now he has the momentum and he can just ride with the wave and take down Red here.
Yeah, I think I can see what Nupe was trying to do, but yeah, I think that was a bit of a blunder. The way it's panned out, obviously susceptible to a double there by Toilet Snake, reinforcing and helping out Shut Up there, and just basically two armies versus one. Meanwhile, you've got a huge skirmish going on in the middle here between the ships. You've got Toilet Snake throwing ship after ship, trying to retake and destroy this fish in the middle here, and that's kind of like a story within a story. I mean, you've got the battles on the land, and then you've got the battles on the sea, and obviously they both benefit each other.
Yeah, and just a late game wonder, we are seeing Colossus from Sermon and Pyramids from Zeus. Not a bad choice at all. I even wonder if these I've wondered if these wonders should have come up earlier in the game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes there's just so much action that you can't afford that extra 200, 230 gold and wood. But yeah, I think the players had a moment to look back and think, oh, hang on, I've actually got a pretty good economy. Definitely a good time to throw down those wonders. And yeah, I like the Colossus from Sermon. I think that's definitely going to come in handy. And yeah, Pyramids, always very handy to have as well, especially as the Mongol player who gets a lot of food naturally as part of their nation bonus.
Yeah, and here White is coming to help Red. So it looks like things are going to get serious here. Red is the last player to reach Medieval Age. And again, as time goes by, Shut Up is losing his despot advantage. And I don't think he knows that White is here, so he needs to he needs to get Toilet Snake to help him, else if he loses this battle, again, not good for him.
Yeah, and you can see that Light Blue is starting to head in now, but there is some reinforcements coming from White. So this is a critical moment in the match if he can hold this city or not.
Alright, and it does not look good for Shut Up. I really feel bad for him, man. He almost got Noob Waiter there, and last time when Noob Waiter was attacking him, Toilet Snake helped him, and this time I think Toilet Snake either he was not focusing there, he's more focused on water, and he did not, I mean, he really should have helped Shut Up right now, because Zeus seems to be doing fine on his own on the other side.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where Toilet Snake's army is, but I think they were up at the top left-hand side, just kind of raiding or protecting there. But yeah, definitely out of position for that particular attack. And it's like we talked about earlier. In this game, it's all about not only how good your players are and how they can adapt, but how they work together as a team. And you can see that they weren't on the same page there, and that was definitely a huge missed opportunity there for the row players.
Yeah, and looks like, I mean, look at the economies. The White and Red, they're easily way better than Shut Up. And Toilet Snake is not doing as well as I would expect him to, because he's a British player. He still has an equivalent economy to the Dutch player, while he should have at least, I mean, I would say at least 1.5 times of that, since his commerce limit allows him.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously not able to use the full benefits of the nation, and having the Hanging Gardens should help from a technology side of things. But yeah, I think he should reach Gunpowder a lot faster than most of the other teams here. But whether those guys can hang on until Gunpowder or not remains to be seen, because you've got Haha at the bottom as the Korean player, basically setting up a huge wall of different units and doing a great job playing defensively here. Basically, avoiding any attack from Zeus and just halting it, and meanwhile allowing Sermon to, boom up with his Colossus and ultimately push these guys at the top and push the balance into their favor.
Yeah, absolutely right. And just looking at some of the some of the comments in the sections, and somebody asked if we had if the other games have been uploaded. So all the games that have been done have been uploaded yet, apart from Forwali versus AL, which is going to be broadcasted soon, not today but probably tomorrow for me. And the TGZ versus Lat3 is also going to be broadcasted some other day, not today. So, and every other game has been broadcasted already, and you should find it in the videos section of this channel. And we also got LSTs in the chats. And I definitely agree with one of the L clan's comment that AS has improved tremendously in the past years. I remember AS. I never saw AS as a pro clan, and I somebody who would just just send shivers down my spine. But looking at this game, yeah, they have come a long way to be an excellent team. Looking at the past game and this one, they are doing a great job. And I mean, a row. These players are no pushovers, and AS seems to be holding on their own easily and even pushing back on RO. So, like, really great job from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, I think they're really impressing. AS really making a statement so far. Playing really like rock solid Rise of Nations here. Making really smart decisions with their use of wonders and rares, and trying to move their chess pieces around the board to give them the best possible position. And yeah, working together as a team really, really well, which is an understated fact in Rise of Nations. You got to work together with your teammates. You got to both be on the same page, and so far they're really, really showing that.
Yeah, definitely. And HNZ88 says that I want AS to win so that he can go back to sleep, and it's 5 a.m. where he is right now. That's quite an interesting way to decide who should win.
That's a very, very good motivation there. I mean, your sleep is important, but even more important is finding out who wins this match. So hang in there, because this game is definitely not over yet, but it looks like the AS guys are starting to, shorten their odds slightly, I'd say. But having said that, there are a couple of wonders that the Row guys have. They've got Hanging Gardens and Pyramids, and it's really going to come down to whether, I guess, the Inca player as well can get his technology and get his commerce cap up as a despot, because obviously playing as a despot is quite a limiting factor in the long term, and but that's balanced out by being Inca, who gets free gold from their mining, so kind of evens out a little bit there.
Yeah, and if you see, Noob Hater is going to take down Toilet Snake City. What's really interesting is that I don't know where is Toilet Snake's army. He has got a little bit there at Zeus' side, but I would expect him to have a much bigger army because he's no more an accessory player now. He's a full-fledged player who has boomed a lot with the Hanging Gardens. I would expect him to have a really giant army, but looks like he just has 3 longbowmen here and 1 heavy infantry at Shut Up side.
Yeah, I think, and you can see that that Shut Up is going in for the attack. However, there's a lot of units behind the city holding that off, and yeah, it looks like they're able to force that back.
Oh yeah, and Shut Up has to fall back, and yeah, does not look good for him. Meanwhile, Toilet Snake is about to age up to Gunpowder. Meanwhile, not Toilet Snake, Sermon is about to age up, while Toilet Snake or Shut Up, they don't seem like they're anywhere close to that. Even Zeus is not close to aging right now. So if Sermon goes to Gunpowder age, I think that's going to be the deciding factor for here.
Yeah, that's like a ticking time bomb right now. I mean, you've got Sermon, he's got the Colossus, and he's probably going to hit age 4 much, much quicker than anyone else on this map. And I mean, once that happens, we are likely going to see a lot of carnage here, because we've said it before, but Gunpowder units versus Medieval Age units is the most one-sided battle you can ever have. And if you're in Medieval and you're up against Gunpowder, the only thing I can say is run away, because you need to run for the hills, hide behind your city, fortify, and do whatever you can to hold off until you can reach that age as well. Or build a lot of spies and try and bribe their units so that you can build your own Gunpowder army before you get to Gunpowder yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. Spies is a great way to hold off against a Gunpowder army, no doubt about it. Very good insights from you in this game. And coming back to this game here, I feel if you look at Toilet Snake's eco, I'm not impressed. because again, as I've said, considering that he's Brits and he's got some time to establish his economy, he's not been fighting all this time. He has been active on water, but still, it's not that he's been getting raided all this time. So I feel that he should have got an excellent. He should be having an excellent economy there, but well, he's not doing that great on that front.
Yeah, I think not having his best game economically here. Probably just too many things going on. Sometimes you just got to sit back and just be disciplined and get your economy up to a certain level so that you can play the rest of the game on an even footing. But yeah, I'd have to agree with the comments there at the moment with the Hanging Gardens. Unfortunately for the Toilet Snake, his economy is just not going so well at the moment. Not a lot of core farms. Food income of only 110 at this point. And obviously losing the middle pond there has not helped at all. But yeah, this is a really tough position to be in.
Yeah, and the Toilet Snake seems to be close to aging, but again, he does not have the kind of economy that you would expect. So I don't think he's as good as what Sermon is doing right now. Sermon has got himself an excellent army here, a great boom by him, and he's also going to age the fastest.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see that Zeus is going in for the offensive here against the Korean player, and Haha is really digging in here. So there's a lot of action going around all around the map here, but so far AS is holding strong. I think they've got their whole clan behind them right now, cheering them on, and yeah, it's looking like a pretty proud moment now for anyone who's a fan of AS.
Definitely, and Zeus is getting a little desperate. He knows that the other side is not doing well, and he needs to end quickly. So he went there marching with that army without a scout and just lost a unit to bribe. And Haha doesn't have a good army here either. I mean, if Zeus goes in with a little more siege units, he can probably take him down.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, it's always tough to take on a Korean player. Very frustrating with the repair, but yeah, Haha is really making the most of his nation's powers here, just sitting back and basically building an impenetrable wall. Have you seen all those towers that Korea has? That's got to be really annoying to come up against.
Oh yeah, and Haha has got what 4 towers. I can see 4 towers already, and yeah, White takes that city.
It looks like, yeah, White's taken that city, but at the same time, Haha's got the Great Wall of Korea. He's got 5 towers spanning from, his top city behind Daejeon and then at his woodcutter camp there. So no wonder Haha's been able to basically sit there and just hold as long as he needs to, and give White and Red the opportunity to basically go in, go for the jugular up at the top here against Light Blue and Yellow.
Yeah, right. Now I don't think, unless of course Zeus finds some way to kill Haha, it's not going well for the RO team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you can see that, yeah, I believe Gunpowder Age has hit for Toilet Snake, Haha, and Sermon at the moment. Looks like Noob Hater is on the way as well. So only Zeus and Shut Up now still in age 3 at this point in time.
Right, and oh man, Toilet Snake is receiving a lot of expletives from the comment section. Well, man, I don't think it was his day today. He doesn't play really bad. I mean, he's somewhere a middle inter, but yeah, it's clearly not his day today against AS.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it might be a case of that communication issues as well. He's obviously not a Romanian player, so perhaps they're not communicating well as a team. With him being obviously the Malaysian player here to round out their roster. But yeah, look, just not a good day, and the Row guys just don't seem to be on the same page at the moment. They're all kind of out of sync with each other, and the AS guys are taking full advantage of that.
And that's what we were talking about in the earlier game when we said teamwork is really going to be a deciding factor, because AS has played so many games as a team. I know Noob Hater, Haha, and Sermon, these guys must have played a lot of games before, while Zeus, Shut Up, and Tallest Snake, I don't remember if I've seen them in the same team a lot. It's possible they might have practiced a little bit before a tournament, but yeah, they definitely do not have their team coordination at the level that AS does.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see Sermon is starting to continue to push ahead and destroy towers here against the Inca player Shut Up. Shut Up's economy is it's not too bad for a Despot player at the moment. He's got his commerce too, of course, but you compare that with Sermon, who's got the Colossus. He's pretty much maxed out on food, wood, and metal. 200 food, 250 wood, 200 metal, 211 knowledge income coming in. And probably can afford to fill another university once that city is taken, and and far out it's going to be very hard to stop. I mean, it's just a good thing he's not playing as Aztecs, because if he was Aztecs right now, I'd say that's impossible to beat.
Oh,
but
yeah,
they're going to need to do something special, I think.
And I want to bring your attention to something quite interesting. Shut Up has got a better commerce income than Toilet Snake.
Yeah, that's an interesting statistic. You can see Toilet Snake, wow, his economy has taken a huge hit. He's only got 45 metal income and 67 gold income coming in at the moment. So yeah, he's pretty much on his last legs. He's been kneecapped, and Zeus still trying to do what he can to take on Haha, but taking on Koreans is not easy, and it's very much a slowly type strategy to try and wear them down one tower at a time. But I think Haha is just sitting back and doing what his name suggests, which is laughing and saying, "Haha, Zeus, you can't get me because I'm building towers, I'm Koreans, and good luck with that."
Yeah, I do believe that Zeus has got a bigger army here. He's also getting the monarchy upgrade, and probably if this goes on for a while, I think Zeus is going to take on Haha. But the other side is clearly winning. I think Shut Up is going down very soon. I don't see any hope for RO at this point.
Yeah, agreed. And a good comment there I just saw on the stream. Alazar Halamariam just said that I'm not sure why Light Blue here hasn't garrisoned his units that are hurt here to get their health back, because I guess the biggest thing about Despot, the worst part about defending with Despot is that your units don't heal, and therefore you really need to put them in a city to try and get their HP back. And there's a lot of units of Light Blues that are on there down to 10 HP or lower, so definitely a good tip there if you're a Despot player.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, here Shut Up and Tallest Snake are just trying to survive for as long as possible, meanwhile counting on Zeus to just do some miracle and kill all these three. That would be quite interesting if Zeus kills all these three.
I think if you gave Zeus Colossus, Pyramids, Hanging Gardens, and Forbidden City right now, I would still say his odds of killing all three would be very low, because there is so much momentum going against these guys right now. They haven't even got a dock at the moment, so there's no way that they can even build a dock to contest the sea. And I mean, you can see that Sermon is raining down fire with those bomb vessels, basically reducing Zeus's city from the middle. And yeah, there's no stopping this white and red army charging through at the top. Toilet Snake and Shut Up are basically done here. And this is just an inevitable end to the game that'll be coming up soon, as I expect they will type out GG.
Right, and just something to point out. In the starting from the Gunpowder Rage, the dynamics on water changes completely, because we get bombard vessels. Bombard vessels are the siege equivalent of water units, and once you get that, then you can start sieging down everything that's on the coast of on the enemy coast, and that changes a lot. You can start sieging down his castles, his barracks, stables, and you can easily get an advantage even if the game was balanced at one point. So quite an interesting strategy to be seen from Sermon coming here. He's not. I mean, he's not become complacent. He's trying to get every inch of whatever he can get. He knows that he has won this game, but he doesn't want to take any risk. He's still sieging from water. He's still actively moving his ships on the water. So he's not given. He does not think that AS has won it already. He still thinks Zeus could be a threat, and he's making sure that Zeus, his castle is taken down.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see, I mean, you see in the chat, some of the guys did mention that. Oh, they asked if we know the result of the game before we do this commentary. The answer to that is definitely not. We try and stay spoiler-free, so we have no idea. We're watching this with as much excitement as anyone else who's watching, and yeah, that really makes it much more exciting for us to cast. And hopefully that comes across in the way that when you guys watch it as well, you know that we don't know the result in advance, and we're finding out as you guys do too.
Oh yeah, right. And just since we are on that topic. If you are a part of a team and you've just played the game, whether you lost or won, since you know that all of these games are eventually going to be broadcasted, and we try to broadcast them as soon as possible, try not to share the results with anybody else, even if they ask you to, just because you're stealing their joy of all the excitement that they could get if they were to watch it directly on the broadcast. So try to keep it to yourself and let them watch it directly as if it was a live game, and this way they can enjoy the games as well, and they can also see how hard you fought and not just give up on the game because they already know the results.
Yeah, exactly right. And yeah, it's kind of like if anyone out there watches, The Bachelor or something like that, and then you find out a spoiler alert in advance of who ends up winning. No one wants to know who's won. Everyone wants to watch it and follow the action as the game progresses. So yeah, absolutely, try and keep it spoiler-free as much as possible. But as we say that, it does look like the Row guys have come to the realization that this game is not looking so good for them. And you can see the GG thrown out by Shut Up there. He is tapped out, and it's only 2 players left to follow him.
Yeah, and next is Stolid Snake. The Greek army is marching towards London with the Dutch army.
Yes, that looks like London is going to go down. There's the GGs coming out, and that is the game. Well played to AS. What a great game, and some very, very solid Rise of Nations there. I can't help but think, the better team has won here. AS played phenomenally well. They were able to sit down, analyze the situation, adapt. I mean, we talked about at the beginning of this match. It was quite evenly poised because it wasn't like one team had, a significant advantage. I'd almost say that the AS guys had worse nations, but they did have that copper. But the ultimate thing is, the great teams and the great players don't sit there and whinge and blame what they get given. They make the most of it, and that's what AS did. They sat back, developed a strategy, and I believe it basically Haha sat back and defended really strongly against Zeus. And meanwhile, you had obviously Sermon and Noob Hater are really booming well and taking that C and then riding that to a slow and eventual victory. So well played. What's your thoughts? Any particular highlights stand out for you, Jitin?
Again, I would be honest. I think AS versus RO, this was a clean sweep. There was no point in both the games where I would have said. I mean, of course, yeah, except the beginning of the games, but in the late games, both the games were pretty much decided that AS they came out to be a better team. It was I did not get the same feel as I got from AZ2 versus PLA, where every moment was potentially a game-changing moment. And this seems like AS has done just such a great job, and I wonder if they did deserve to be in the top 4 teams, because I wasn't expecting this kind of professional play from them when I knew they had signed up for the tournament.
Yeah, exactly right. And no, they've definitely made a statement today, and yeah, really impressed by them. I knew that AS would be a really tough team, but I haven't seen Sermon play for quite a while, but obviously, he is showing that he is not rusty whatsoever. I know Haha's a great player, and Noob Hater really, really solid boom in this game, in both games, to be fair. And yeah, I think you look at that matchup. I think Noob Hater versus Toilet Snake. You definitely can see that everyone was fairly evenly matched, except perhaps Noob Hater had the leg up over Toilet Snake, and then ultimately Haha probably had a slight advantage as well over Shut Up in this match. And yeah, some really fascinating plays there between the two.
Yeah, really good one. And I guess that's it. I'm going to switch to the schedule. Oh no, the further future matchups. So if you can see my screen, then we've got RA versus S Alpha, where S Alpha has just won the game, and we have got the WB 1.4 and 1.5 done as well, and they should be broadcasted very soon. I don't think I'll be able to broadcast them tonight, but very likely tomorrow if you are available.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely broadcast as many as we can. I'll actually, yeah, I'll be playing in our own match coming out this afternoon. So that's going to put a dampener in my ability to cast, but we will definitely be working together to get as many of these games cast as soon as we can. And just so you know, we do have one more a guest on the line who we might be able to patch in. I believe we've got Noob Hater from the AS clan for a very brief post-match interview. What do you think, Jatin? Can we bring him in?
Oh yeah, definitely. So let's let's add him to the Skype and do a brief interview.
Yeah, absolutely. So just trying to think. I haven't tried this before, but I'm going to try and add Noob Hater to this chat, and we'll patch him in a moment to get his thoughts on the match.
All
So
right.
just bear with me. But if you want to talk to the schedule, I'll just try and sort this out in the meantime.
All right, and I think HNZ88 somewhere he said. I think I was just watching a previous day. He said that sometime before that we should show our faces in the chat as well. So maybe right now, since I have the Skype set up, we could turn on our webcams as well. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll be back, and meanwhile, you can set up the Skype.
Yeah, no worries. That sounds good. Okay.
I'll be muting the mic for now.
All right, we are back, and yeah, hoping to get this post-match interview going now. I must admit, we're trying to sort this just from a technical side. We've got a new Pater from AS on Skype. We're just looking to create a group so that we can do a group chat with him, or if anyone knows how we can add him to this phone call that me and Jatin are using right now, please let us know in the chat, because we are trying to do this live on air, and we were able to do it yesterday, but this is only the second time we've tried this. So any Skype experts out there, please help us out. That would be much appreciated. And I can see that HNZ is saying, Skype, really? In this day and age? Guys, Discord is the best thing to use. And, absolutely, Discord is great, but we've found that, for some reason, Discord between me and Jatin sometimes has a bit more lag than Skype has. So for the commentary, Skype seems to be working more smoothly. But when it comes to these post-match interviews, maybe we can jump onto Discord instead. That's probably an easier platform to use.
Yeah, I don't know if Discord has video chat, does it?
I believe. Hang on. I'm not sure if it does have video chat. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, I think we've figured it out now. I'm going to try and patch in Noob Hater, so stay on the line. Okay, can you drop this call, Jatin, and I will call you guys as a group in 1 second.
All right. Just meanwhile, whoever is in there, I want to thank everybody who has donated for this tournament, and you can see it on the screen.
Hey, is it Noob McMahon on the line?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you loud. We can hear you loud and clear. And Jatin, can you hear us as well? Hello, Jatin, are you there?
Hi, yeah, I am here, and just a little bit. And it looks like somebody is in the gym. Is that the gym, or is that your computer desk?
Oh, that's actually my webcam, but I'm probably not ready for a video interview. But I'm not sure if Zach, do you have your? Yeah, there we go. Yep, we can see you now. So if we can get this on the stream, yeah, that's perfect, Matt. All right, and just bear with this. We'll try and see if Jatin can get this on the stream so that everyone can obviously see us.
Yes, I am on the stream right now. I hope you guys can see everybody. And we've got Noob Hater here, Zach McMahon. How do you say your last name?
McMahon.
Oh, McMahon. Okay.
Yeah.
And
you're good, dude.
Lachlan or AZ Kron, we can't see you right now. Are you going to fix your webcam?
Yeah, sorry. I must admit I wasn't really ready to go on video. So if you want to start the interview, just give me 1 second. I'll fix up my webcam and be on in 1 moment. Okay?
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, just before we begin something specific to the game, Zach, can you tell us what you do as a profession?
Yeah, so I work. I work full time at a bar. I'm a bartender. So it gets really busy down in the summer. So y'all want to come by United States, come visit me. I'm out there. Get you guys some free drinks. Have a good time.
Oh, which country are you in?
United States.
Oh, which state?
I'm in Delaware right now.
Oh, awesome. I'm in Florida myself here, enjoying the country.
Where are you guys from?
So I'm from Australia, in Queensland, Australia. So yeah, right across the world right now. And Jatin, you're in Florida, is that right?
Oh yes, I'm in Florida here.
Nice.
I've stayed most of my life in India. I just moved here for higher studies. I think in 2017. So not a lot of time in the United States yet, but it's quite a nice place. Gotta say that.
Yeah, can't complain about it here.
All right, and so yeah, just coming down to the interview, and I would say you really did a great job in these 2 games. As Noob Hater, in the first game, you made sure that Toilet Snake did not cause a lot of nuisance in both the sides. You were there to help both the sides. Do you think if Toilet Snake had taken that capital in the first game, that could have changed the course of it?
Oh, easily, yeah, definitely. I saw him. I wasn't sure if he was going to come right for me at first. So I kind of built a fort and my capital. I kind of held back for a second because I didn't want to send my army to Tahaha and then, or yeah, Tahaha and then have him just sweep underneath me and just go right for my capital. So I kind of sat back and waited for him to show on the map, and then I sent all my troops over there fast as I could.
Awesome. Yeah,
And
I saw you. I saw you save that one. Yeah, and Kron, you were saying something.
yeah, what was going through your mind when you saw that, obviously Sermon had scouted, the siege workshop stable and barracks there, and then suddenly, you're looking at what is he going to do now? Is he going to go for my cap or for that Colossus? What was running through your mind, and what did you think, Toilet Snake was up to?
I didn't really know because he was in a tricky position. He could have went for either anyone's capital. He could have went for Sermon's or mine or Haha. So I kind of held back. I wasn't sure what he was planning. I just wanted to make sure that he didn't, get the cap sack. That was the big goal there, is to avoid the cap sack, because that can really change the tide of a game. Even if he lost his whole army, that's still 500 going to him from the rare resource or from the rare for the resources. So that was a big avoidance there that we kind of did not allow to happen. That was a good thing.
Do you agree with his decision of that early rush? Like, if you were in his position, would you have done the same?
Yeah, totally. But he definitely was slow. Watching you guys comment on that, he was slow. If he would have been a couple minutes sooner, he might have definitely got something, because I didn't have a big army. I was actually planning on attacking his city in front of mine, because I wasn't sure what he was going to do. So I was going to send some catapults over there, try to annoy him a little bit. But yeah.
And I've got a question, I guess. We haven't really asked the player this yet, but when you get into that game and you see the timer going down, you're counting down from 10 down to 1, and you know that this is potentially, it's going to be broadcast live across the internet, the best players in the world. How do you deal with the nerves? Were you nervous going into the match, and how did you relax and play your game?
Yeah, big time. Just because I've been playing this game for a while. I really haven't played like with the best players. I try to get. I really like to play with Prolays and Serg and Boo as much as I can, just to get that like higher tier play that those guys offer. But sometimes they're not always on. I like playing with Zen too. He's an amazing Rise of Nations player. So just basically calming down, just taking deep breaths, because it was nervous. I was like, oh man, I have no idea how good Shut Up's going to be. Or, I mean, I know that Zeus is a great player, so it was just tough getting, just figuring out what was going to happen and who I was going to be matched up against.
And the second game was, I mean, absolute delight to watch as well. You had Dutch, and I think you would have taken down Shut Up earlier if Toilet Snake had not helped. So you did quite a nice job. Now, one question that I have in this game, like it was clear that AS was the better team. You guys did a great job with your team coordination. Now, do you think if Cypher played, maybe instead of if you could replace one of the players from the RO team and add Cypher in it, do you think the game would have been much more balanced?
Oh, it would have been. It would have probably been really, really close, honestly. It would have definitely come down to the wire. It might have even went to 3 games to whoever's side, honestly. I was actually planning on playing against Sepher, and then I heard what happened, so I was surprised to have... we were trying to get a 4v4 initially. We wanted to be the first team to get like a 4v4 going, just so we could have... Because Spy's a great dude. I love talking to him a lot, so he wanted to kind of join in, and we were just kind of playing him, seeing what was going to happen. It didn't end up going into a 4v4, so we were like, okay, we're playing Toilet. We kind of know. He hasn't been on as much. I haven't seen him been on much, so like we kind of knew it wasn't going to be the hardest game ever, but we definitely just kept our composure and played strong.
I mean, yeah, a really good job, and I guess you're going to face either Forwali or AL in the next round. So are you guys nervous? And just if you could pick one of those teams to play against you, which one would you pick?
Oh man, I don't want to play against Volley. They're tough. Now, I've been trying to play against them as much as possible recently here these past couple of weeks, just to see their play style and how they play. But I know that AL has a bunch of really good players as well, like Locky and Dracula. Those guys have always given me some really, really tough games. So it's going to be interesting once we see those replays go up because I'm looking forward to seeing that 3v3.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's going to
Yeah.
be a similar situation for Forvali as well, just how we saw with RO. It was put down right before the tournament. These guys don't have a lot of experience playing together. But again, RO, the player quality is much better in Forvali. So I don't know if that lack of team coordination is going to be that much of a problem. Maybe they'll be
Yeah.
able to wing it. I don't know. Let's see. And if it's
Yeah,
AL,
I
I
know.
know AL has been a clan for a long time. That's going to be quite exciting too.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm really excited. This is probably one of the games I've been looking forward to see throughout the whole tournament. I'm excited to see ALZ play as well. I'm a huge fan of Young One. I loved watching his YouTube. So one of my big
Yeah,
mentors.
no, awesome to hear. And I think, yeah, there was questions about whether Young One would play because he's got a lot of, study with his university commitments at the moment. But the latest news is that he will play the next match, which is great news for AZ.
Yeah.
And so that match is scheduled to be coming up later today. And yeah, as you said, I'm also a big fan of Young One. And yeah, it should be an interesting match. But Lap Team 2 is obviously a very good team as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, I guess how do you think that match might play out?
Let me see actually. So I've really liked watching your gameplay too because I didn't really know much about Kron. Who's Kron? Who is this guy? Recently, a bunch of new players have actually surfaced through this game when you announced this tournament would be going on, which is awesome because, like I said earlier, I've been playing this game for a while, so nice to actually be able to play this game like seriously.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you're really excited there, Jatin. Your next matchup should be tough too. But anyway, Demon King, I've been he's definitely a good player. I've had some really good games against him. But I think a lot of the guys on LAT, like Cazador and Blast, those guys are kind of looked at underrated. I've played against them a lot. They're really good boomers, so you just got to be careful that you keep that under control when you're going against them because they can slip away real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they're probably watching this right now and thinking, okay, well, they're going to go Despot all in Militia Rush.
Yeah. So I mean, you obviously can't count out anything, but it's
Yeah, absolutely. No, it'll be exciting, and yeah, can't wait to yeah, obviously, casting these games is awesome. So playing in a match is also going to be a lot of fun. And I guess the final question I had for you was, who do you think is the team to beat in this entire tournament?
I think it's tough. I think that obviously L is a very strong team. I haven't seen Itachi play. I used to play with him back in the day a while ago. But I know that Boo is obviously a very strong player. L is going to be your top team. For Volley, I mean, those guys are tough. And then obviously ALZ. I think those are the top three teams we have here for this tournament. Those guys have some phenomenal players that, are just some of the best.
And did you catch PLA's match versus AZ2 yesterday?
Yeah,
what did
I
you think?
I did catch them. I was really surprised to see ALZ2 put up a great fight like that. I didn't really expect that. Although when you haven't, I don't know if you've been playing a lot recently, but you haven't seen much of PLA around. So I think a lot of those guys were rusty. Still haven't been on. But I know that Angelo, he's a real tough player. I used to play against him and Monkey all the time. They were like buddies, so we would do 2v2s all the time. But it was nice seeing those guys play. It was cool.
Oh yeah, like PLA team, they've got a nice roster. Probably they could be rusty right now, but I have to give it to AZ2. That was the best. I mean, one of the closest games I have seen so far in this tournament.
Oh yeah, it was neck and neck, man. It could have went either way. Honestly, it was really close.
All right, so yeah,
absolutely.
Gron.
And
oh yeah, please.
I think that's the only questions I had for you. But I guess is there anything you wanted to put out there to the world? Maybe a shout out, or thank you, Mum, for helping support you. I don't know.
No, I just want to say thanks, obviously, to AS Clan. I mean, those guys are awesome. Spy has been a huge, kind of like my coach, I guess you could say. He's been helping me out, just kind of getting the little things under control. He's been a huge help to this whole thing. I haven't really talked to Sermon much, but he's been around. And I just want to thank you guys. I mean, awesome tournament you put together. I'm really surprised that we had this many teams come out. I wasn't expecting this this many people to be playing, but it's awesome, man. I really enjoy it. It's really cool. Maybe we can do some more tournaments like this soon as well, coming up.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
Absolutely. I think we definitely will. And it's all about, trying to make sure this tournament goes as smooth as possible. But so far, the response has been overwhelming. So, and this is really cool. This is the first live video interview we've done, which is getting streamed across the world as well. And I think that's the content that people are looking for. You want to see the games, but you also want to get into the minds of the players and really see, what actually happened and break it down, just like they do in, pro sports. So, yeah, look, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. Awesome matches you guys put up, and obviously Spyro, you being in the roster must have been a big privilege for you. Obviously doing AS proud, so yeah, congratulations again. Thanks for coming on the line, and who knows, we might talk to you at the end of the next game.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Really, thanks for coming in. And anybody who's watching this, if you are one of the players in the game that is being casted, please feel free to join us for the post-game interview. That'll be great. Yeah, we really appreciate this kind of approach.
All right, thanks guys, appreciate it.
Cheers. Thanks for coming on.
Good night. All right, so well, I guess I'm going to switch to the matchup window, and just seeing this here, we've got a few more games that are coming up, and I guess tomorrow would be a good time, maybe 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. EST, just like we did for the AZ2 versus PLA game. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we keep these games rolling out as the games get played. So we'll do our best to get the matches broadcast within the, say, 12 to 24 hours after they're played, and obviously sooner than that if we can. But this has been great, and the matches are only going to get better and better. We've got some really close games coming up, obviously with Forvali. Everyone wants to see how Forvali go, because there's a lot of hype around this team. It's a team of 3 incredibly strong players, and you've got Dane as the backup, and then you've got Prolays as well. Who knows who they're going to put out as their lineup? Because I've seen Prolays playing quite a bit over these past few days, and I think he's starting to get his skill level back to closer to where it used to be. So there's a lot of X factors, man. People want to find out, how are they going to perform? Are they going to be a team of champions, or are they going to be a champion team? And I'm pumped to see how they go. So looking forward to it.
Quite excited for this. We should broadcast that right the first thing we do in the morning, and I'll have a better internet connection in the morning since nobody else in the house is using it. So it looks like we'll have a smooth stream as well.
Absolutely. So can't wait for that. But in the meantime, let's just sit back. Obviously, all the videos that we've done are uploaded onto YouTube. So if you're waiting for the next match, you can always go back and catch maybe the match that you missed, or see some of the highlights there. So encourage everyone to go back and look at the VODs. But look, aside from that, this has been a pleasure casting this game. And I think is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap this up?
I think we have included everything. Just one more thing, since we have 3 games that have not been casted. I guess 3 games or 2 games that have not been casted, but they have already been played. So it would be really appreciated if you guys do not spread the results. Don't let everybody know what are the results. Keep it a suspense and let it be revealed during the broadcast. It's going to. I mean, you will get good wishes from all the RON community, really. if you can just keep it to yourself. Do not let everybody know about the results.
Yeah, and that I echo that. But it's been great, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. It's been awesome, kind of being able to share this match with you. Congratulations again to AS, and thank you to Noob Hater for coming on the line. That was an awesome post-match interview. We really appreciate it, and you've made Rise of Nations history as the first
video post-match interview that we've broadcast on stream. So thank you again, man. That was awesome. And we will talk to you guys soon.
All right. See you guys. And I'll just put it at the thumbnail for a while because once we upload the stream, it takes about half an hour for the whole thing to be uploaded. So if anybody is trying to watch the game right now, I'll keep the stream on. And once the stream is closed, it takes about 1 or 2 hours for the whole thing to be uploaded on the YouTube. And you may not be able to access the video until then. So just keep that in mind. And I'm signing off here. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, guys, and peace.
All right.